How we doing, YouTube? My name is Chris from Terrestrial Imaging, and today we're going to be reviewing Yuneec's Typhoon G drone. Now, this drone is a great product. It looks great, it flies great. It's just awesome for beginners, and it's just a really good quality drone. Right here, you can take a look at it. It's got just everything you'd want in a drone. But right now, I'm going to be featuring 3 things that I think you should know about this drone. The first thing that I really like to discuss is the safety with taking off and landing. Now, what I want to address is that on the controller, there are 2 different modes that you would want to be in, and that's smart mode, which is the top button, where you flick it down, you go into angle mode. And now, pretty much what that correlates to is, smart is like GPS control and angle is more manual. And when you leave the drone hovering in the air, GPS mode or smart mode keeps the drone at that specific coordinate and height. Angle mode allows the drone to hover, but it's still subject to moving around by air or just, other forces. So what I want to address is that when you're taking off in smart mode, the drone is forced to be 26 feet away from the controller. If you take off with that drone in smart mode and the drone is not 26 feet away, the drone wants to get away from you. It's a safety thing. So now the drone will either jolt away, to the left, right, up, down, into you, into a tree, and you don't want that to happen. Injury to you or the drone is what could be possible. So if you take off in angle mode, which is what you want to make sure you do, you can take off the drone at any distance away from you. It could be 5 feet away from you, it can be 26 feet away from you, it can be 30 feet away from you, it doesn't matter. And then once you take it off in angle mode and get it to your desired height and distance from you, you can then switch into smart mode, and the GPS guided flight will help you. So to close that up, I want to just readdress, please take off your drone in angle mode. And after that, you can switch it to smart mode and fly it however you like. Now, the second topic that I'd like to talk about is filming with the Typhoon G. So again, G stands for GoPro, and Yuneec made the Typhoon G in order for people who already own a GoPro to film. So now here we have the GoPro Hero 4 Silver. It's a 4K camera, it's great. And Yuneec created this gimbal that attaches to the bottom of the drone. If you take off the gimbal guard, which you can do just by sliding it off, you can then pop the GoPro in through the back. So you just tilt it down and pop the GoPro in. And what's really cool about it is it actually saves you a lot of money. So Yuneec has another drone called the Q500 4K, and that has its own 4K camera already built onto the drone. So it has its own gimbal that has its own camera, and that drone goes for about $1,299. And what you want is, well, if you already have the GoPro, what you want is the $899 Typhoon G version. So it's cheaper and it saves you money. So the problem that some people might have when using the GoPro is that the drone has a downlink module on the bottom. So it's that thing dangling down there. You get a little flick. And what that does is it sends the video from the GoPro, via this cable and via Wi-Fi to the controller. And the only problem with that is the controller can't, communicate with the GoPro, so you can't control filming or taking pictures. Now, every Yuneec controller has a filming button, a recording button, and a still picture button. Now, the reason they have that is because it's a universal controller and it works for the Q500 4K because it has its integrated camera. And since the GoPro is not integrated and it's a completely different product line than Typhoon G, they don't have communication. So in order to start filming or taking pictures, you have to turn it on before you take off. So you have to turn it on, pop it into the gimbal, put the gimbal on the Typhoon G, and then you'll be able to see what the GoPro sees on the Android display tablet. And some people might think that's a pain, but it saves you money and the quality is still great. The only thing is you just got to turn it off when you land. And now another key thing that you should note about that is your phones have a GoPro app that you can also connect via Wi-Fi to your own GoPro. So when you're flying it, you can see it from the controller, and you can also see it from the GoPro app on your phone. Now from your phone, you can control whether or not you can record or take pictures, but we don't suggest that you have that on at the same time as your controller because the downlink module connects the controller via Wi-Fi, and your phone connects to the GoPro via Wi-Fi, so there could be some sort of communication scrambling. So what we suggest is, don't have your phone on. So to sum that up, GoPro, it's great quality, great 4K camera, but the only thing that you want to know is that you have to turn it on before you take off, and that the controller does not communicate with it. Lastly, we just want to talk about how quiet the drone is, which I think is great. The propellers are 13 inches. They're pretty large. I'll give you guys a little close up. So they're 13 inches. They're a large propeller, and the motor is larger than some of the other drones that you might see. I've flown a couple other drones, the little $50 dinky ones, like the DJI Phantom, and various range in between. And I'll just use the DJI Phantom as an example. It's got a smaller motor, smaller propellers, so it makes more noise. It spins faster. It's gotta just do more work. Now the Typhoon G has the bigger engine, the bigger motor and the bigger propellers, which just makes it quieter. It spins slower. The propellers are bigger. It's got more lift. It just makes it a much quieter drone. You can use it in amongst your community, amongst your cul-de-sacs and parks, and it's just going to make less noise, and people are going to be less aware of the presence of your drone being a disturbance. So again, the Typhoon G, just make sure you know that when you're taking off, you want to take off in angle mode, and then you could switch it to smart mode. Just be aware that when you want to film, you want to turn the GoPro on before you take off. And then when you land, you can turn it off, or you can reconfigure your settings to your liking. But that all has to be done before or after takeoff. And lastly, this is just a great drone to fly. It's silent. Its design is nice. It's got an easy learning curve. So I really suggest if you guys want a new drone for your collection or you're just starting to fly, this is a great drone to start with. So if you guys enjoyed our video, please leave your comments below and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Also, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe because we're going to be sending out more videos. Thanks a lot, guys.